Half-time here from the Engage Super League. Huddersfield Giants 18. Moore, Robinson and Mossop. Cudjoe with 3 goals. Hulkingston Rovers 6. Wellham with the try and Dobson with the goal. And the Giants supporters, the youngsters, they're hoping that this will be a victory for Huddersfield here today. They haven't got the best record at the Gal Farm Stadium this year. They've won 6 of 7 away, plus a win in Edinburgh against the Celtic Crusaders. But they've only won twice here in 2009 from 6 league matches at the Gal Farm. They've lost the last 2 at home. Well, they've won half of 1 here, but can they hang on? Rovers second in the table, and they are not second for nothing. They come out early, by the way, during the half-time break, and they have a couple of minutes just warming up and getting ready for the start of the second 40 minutes to Hull KR. It's something that has served them well throughout the course of this season so far. Justin Morgan sending them out earlier than the opposition. Dobson's kick is over the head of Cudjoe. It's a great kick too. Oh, knock on there, no. Oh, he said he went backwards.
Oh, that's a big call by Silverwood. He was turning around. Oh, that would be classified as a knock-on as far as I'm concerned. It's not the way that your body is pointing, it's the way that the fingers knock the ball, and that, to me, appeared as though it went forward. That should have been a knock-on. Lucky to get away with that. Oh, good offload.
Here comes David Hodgson. There's times when just fumbles are given as knock-ons. I know that that would have been contentious had it been given. Scott Moore at dummy half. Kevin Brown, Luke Robinson. This kicks into open space and they're all chasing this. But Briscoe gets there first. Wild does well.
We said that Hulkingston Rovers have been strong in second halves this year, and they have the scoring rate. They've won games because they've finished games particularly strong. But without Nick Fezard and Michele Azu out for this second 40-minute period, they will struggle to go forward. Such has been Huddersfield's tenacity in the middle of the field to defend. And I think I'll be fascinated to see what Bill has to say, whether either of those 2 players will feature in the second period.
Hulkingston Rovers have made 5 visits to this stadium since Huddersfield moved in 1994. They've only won 1, plus they lost a cup semi-final here to St Helens 3 years ago by 50 points to 0. It's a good kick down the line though from Scott Morrell. Bill, injury news.
Yeah, Phil was asking about, as Richard Silverwood asked, whether that was a 40-20 there. Michele Azu has been out and warmed up before this second half, and he's been out and warmed up again. He did get a bang on the knee. He's outside the 40. He got a bang on the knee. He looks to have run that off. Nick Fozzard, a bit shaken up after that big hit by Earl Crabtree in the first half, but he looks to be okay. The problems are really with Huddersfield Giants, because they've already lost Danny Kermond with the fractured cheekbone, and David Fayuma has also got a knock. He seems to have a groin problem.
Well, he can't give this his head and feet to Rovers.
I cannot believe that.
Oh, is this the 30 metre?
Ah, yes.
Well, why on earth did Richard Silverwood call for that? I suppose, to be fair to them, there's no numbers on the sideline. There's no of the padding as well with the numbers and the sponsor's name on around this ground.
Well, there should be.
There should be something. There should be a red line, if nothing else, on the proper line.
Anyway, it's just what they needed, the Rovers. They need to get something sorted out. Michael Dobson has got to start asking a few more questions. Okay, he had very few opportunities in that first half, but he's got to stamp his authority now.
There's a chance here. Oh, Gallier. Wellham managed to get down to it.
Well, Gallier was looking for the second phase. It was non-forthcoming.
Briscoe, crossfield kick. He finds Newton. Newton then dabs it behind. And Hodgson is taken over the dead ball line by Ben Cockayne. Well, we've seen that, haven't we, in another sport, in Aussie rules.
Good thinking. There was Cockayne in front of the kicker. Either way, good work by David Hodgson. They put Hodgson under a lot of pressure, but he's been equal to the task. He reads the game exceptionally well.
The things that we import from Australia.
It's the excellent way to put your opponents under pressure here in the second half. A 40-20 kick, a goal line dropout, and a real opportunity here now for Hull Kingston Rovers to get themselves back into the game with an early score in the second half.
Fisher at dummy half finds Galea. Galea then gives it to Wellham. Boom, Wellham almost goes around Michael Lawrence, who recovered. Fisher in a dummy half again. Finds Michael Dobson. Dobson then, inside it goes to Netherton. Good defence on show there. They come down this left channel again with Galea. Oh, not the best pass from Ben Galea. No chance to Peter Fox.
It was on though. It was created very well indeed. The way that Wellham came on the angle, and he knows it, just Justin Morgan, that was a chance gone begging, because Peter Fox would have strolled in if the pass would have been good. It wasn't.
I spoke about in the first half how the whole KR highlighted Lawrence out here, and every time this half they've decided to go at him again. So, you know, Justin Morgan's got him in the shed at half time, and he hasn't changed the instructions.
Crabtree. Manhandled to the ground by Mills and Morell. And Raleigh drives it forward now. Mossop rather drives it forward for Huddersfield. News from, oh hang on, here's another 40-20. It's almost every time we come down to Bill we get a possible 40-20. Let's go now that it's with Briscoe. Bill?
Michaele Azu just about to come back on for Hull Kingston Rovers, so that's good news for them. The other mystery was Chev Walker, who came off during the first half. Has been off for some time, but I'm assured that there isn't a problem with him and that he will be coming back, but he did look to be very stiff and was manipulating his back at some point during that first half, so whether he is 100% is the question.
Dobson and Jean stands and gets the ball away. Fisher sees an opening and Fisher stabs it down the line for Wellham. Oh, hard luck. It was a great effort from Wellham.
Wonderful play all around. Fisher, the hooker, got the gap. He realised that he didn't have the opportunity. He had the fullback, and Wellham nearly takes a miracle ball. He did everything possible, did the youngster. And so did this fella. Fisher, a huge gap.
Good work from Fisher. I tell you what, Terry, Justin mightn't have said anything about changing the direction of the attack, but we've seen a couple of kicks, haven't we, that he's obviously said let's try and kick them to death.
Well, that's the strength of their game. Dobson's been outstanding this year with his kick, and again they're looking at the Huddersfield right side, and they're not far away at the moment.
Oh, it's a good contest, it really is. Here comes Crabtree again. That's three missed. Oh, great offload, and again. And here goes Fatuira. Ball on the inside to Scott Moore. Scott Moore hands it off. Cleaned out by Cockayne.
Nothing wrong with it. The crowd that enraged at the official, but there was nothing wrong with Cockayne coming in there. The man wasn't finished off, and that man was Scott Moore.
There he is again, Moore, dummy half, finds Brown. Brown hammers it all down the middle. Briscoe gets a foot to it and tidies up for Rovers. Tackle not completed, now it is. Oh, he's lost it. He has lost the ball, Sean Briscoe. Huddersfield are going to get head and feet.
He raises his arm, he knows he's come up with an error. Well, Raleigh came over the top, did his fingertips touch the ball? Perhaps. Either way, more pressure for the Rovers at a time when it looked as though they were getting back into the swing of things.
Briscoe got a couple of tries for England against Wales last October in Doncaster. Didn't make the plane for the World Cup, but is certainly knocking on the international door this year. Meanwhile, this is Sean Lunt for Huddersfield.
Well, with an 18.6 lead, all the Giants have to do now is just camp down in the opposition red zone, and they're going to do that with the strength of Crabtree. They'll just teach up the big forwards and then maybe opt for the kick yet again, which is so successful in that first stanza.
This is Raleigh, and Raleigh gets Huddersfield to the 10-metre mark. 3 tackles gone, 3 remaining. Scott Moore finds Robinson. Robinson gives it to Brown. Brown off the boot, looking for... through the legs, and play on, is it? Well,
yeah. They both had a bite of the cherry, and no one found the pip until too late. But we anticipated the kick. It was all over. The Brown has been superb tonight with that short kick, hasn't he? Created all sorts of problems, not to the liking of their coach Brown.
Yes, he's squirming a bit on the seat, isn't he? Laid back character, there's no doubt about that, but the nerves are jangling at the moment. Dobson, that was charged down, so it's play on. Hodgson waited. Oh, there were two men acting as a shield almost then.
It was great pressure though on Michael Dobson. You know what, so often he is the kicker for Hull KR, so it's easy to identify him, but it still takes a huge effort to run from an onside position and get to him as quickly as he puts the kick away. It's made this next set so much more enjoyable for the Giants.
Certainly charged down. It was play on from that moment on. Another good service from Scott Moore at dummy half.
This is Cudjoe.
Good work by Colbon there. Realised we're using the drop-off, coming round on the angle.
Patuira to Mason. Last tackle here for Huddersfield.
To the wing.
Moore to Robinson. Off the outside of the boot. It's not his best, but he's found Aspinwall, who in turn finds Wild, and he just hacks it and finds touch. But it draws applause from the Huddersfield supporters, but it was a bit scratchy.
He was put under a lot of pressure, but he came up trumps, got the right attitude. Let's get it down into the corner. They realise that the Rovers are chasing this game, so any little kick into that corner, even if it's only 10-15 metres forward, it gives their defence a lot of encouragement to get into their face, and that has been a highlight. That's one thing that Nathan Brown will be happy with, is the defence of the Giants tonight.
Ben Fisher, the dummy half for Rovers. Mason is there to halt Colbon, with a little bit of help also from Sean Lunt. Back in the side, missed the last two. Clint Newton, wrestled to the ground by Kevin Brown. Quick play the ball though, here is Dobson. Now Briscoe. Briscoe hauled down on the halfway line. Wants to get on with it. Dobson, down the line from Dobson. And a good kick. Cudjoe not interested. And Dobson and Rovers now will hunt the mistake.
Neat kick, but Cudjoe did the right thing. No point in panicking, no trying to pick up the ball and then running the risk of being pushed into touch. The last thing you want is to give the opposition head and feed. There'll be no rush. They'll be taking their time, they're controlling this game.
Hands on the ball. Out.
These two sides hell-bent on getting into the playoffs at the end of the season and giving themselves a real chance of making Old Trafford on the 10th of October. If you look at that top eight, there are so many teams in it that were certainly not there 12 months ago.
It's wide open, isn't it?
Well, the likes of Wigan, Warrington, Bradford, Celtic Crusaders, they're all at the wrong end of the table, and we will see Hull KR and Harlequins, two more top eight contenders next Friday. And we'll have a look at Wakefield Hull next Saturday ahead of the International. We're 5:30 with you on Sky Sports 2 HD2, and we'll be staying with you till 10:30 because we have France-England following on quickly at 8 o'clock. So it's a big night next Saturday, domestically and internationally.
Look at that swarming defence. They are allowing Rovers no room to move at all. It looks like Colburn's picked up a bit of a knock as well. It's been some of cruel tackling. He's in trouble.
Cocaine has a scamper but gets as far as rally.
Maybe the chip. Oh, shocker.
Ben Fisher.
And that's what happens when you try to force the pace. I don't think Ben Fisher was aware. You got to keep your mind on the job at all times.
Just flicked off his foot, didn't it? Banged off his ankle and just escaped him. And there's a problem there for Liam Colbon, as we saw. And that looks a serious injury. Let's hope it's not as serious as it first appears. This is Fatuira. 20 metres away from the line on the first tackle, Huddersfield. Here is David Hodgson.
Will they set up for a set pattern? Looks like it.
Robinson flicks it up, Mason. Straight into the dressing room, Liam Colbom. Meanwhile, Moore, Robinson. Oh.
Good defence from Jean. Not too happy about it, Robinson. And a right old goal there at Mr. Silverwood. Now then, the little dink into the in-goal area. That's all they need to do. Keep control of this match.
It's Robinson who does exactly that. Brown is after it, but it beats everybody.
That's a pretty handy replacement. They've put Daniel Fitzhenry, who was the starting hooker, and with the injury to Liam Colvin, he's gone onto the right wing. Pretty handy to have someone like that.
Boswell goes down in the tackle. I must say, Phil Clark, that looked to me like the new Kieran Cunningham. I mean, I know he's on loan from St Helens here. He was with Terry last year at Castleford. He looks like Cunningham, doesn't he? He's built like him.
I mean, it's arguably the most important position in the game now. The man behind the play of the ball touches the ball more than anybody else. He's asked to make more decisions than anybody else. Here's a forward pass against Hull Kingston Rovers. We get to see again, the pass from behind the play of the ball is essential. It's the start of every play. This one goes forward. And Scott Moore tonight has made so many excellent decisions. Do you know, I agree, St Helens have been fantastic in their forward planning. You see the ball just drifting forward to Dobson. They had the benefit of him spending the year at Castleford, where, to be honest, he played in a team at the bottom of the league, and that's a skill in itself, learning to play when your side are on the back foot, not winning in week in, week out. He's now moved to a different club. He has the benefit of a different coach, and I think that the long-term planning for St Helens to have Scott Moore back there for the next decade really is compliment to the thought that goes behind the development of that club.
Of course, they've taken the decision to allow Sean Long to go at the end of this season. He will be at Hull, and there are a number of candidates to take over from him at St Helens as well. A lot of people raised the eyebrows that Saints would let Long go, but he couldn't secure a 2-year deal there. He did up at the Casey Stadium from the Black and Whites. Here's Scott Moore now, and that ricochets off a leg, and it's play on, and he wipes the tackle count down, Richard Silverwood, but Huddersfield haven't noticed it yet. Robinson has, and he tries to get into the face of Jackson to let him know.
He was screaming at him, wasn't he?
They lost a bit of momentum there, though.
Just going back to the Sean Long and what we're talking about there, I think what you're seeing there is the salary cap working, and they've got some really good young kids there, and if they did keep Sean Long, they would have had to let those kids go, so the salary cap is working.
Absolutely. Knock on, and it goes against Briscoe and Rovers. Head and feet here to Huddersfield.
Well, surely was facing his own sticks. Never mind. It has gone against.
He was earlier in the piece.
You know, you talk about resilience in sport. Sean Briscoe then indicates to his players, we've got to work for 1 minute, because with a 12-point deficit, the game is finally balanced here. Huddersfield pressing and pushing as hard as they can to extend that 12-point lead. Not a try scored since the start of the second half. And Hull Kingston Rovers, although being outplayed, are still in with a shout.
This is more. That is that
knock on.
It's a penalty, is it, or a knock on?
It's a knock on.
Well, there's the Luke Robinson fan club that we saw at. They like a drink, don't they? They really do.
Don't we all?
They enjoy themselves when they come to the game.
And that's what it's all about.
Can we go,
what, having a drink?
No, enjoying themselves.
Oh, okay.
You got it too much on your mind, you.
No, I'm just asking you to just be careful. Just don't knock it over. Peter Fox. Fisher is that dummy half for Rovers. Stanley Jean.
The way that Nathan Brown has got this defence organised is wonderful tonight. You can see them going over as a unit, and they're just not allowing them any room to move at all. And they've been trying to put the pressure on Robinson, in this right-hand defensive line, but he has just tackled his heart out.
Last tackle here for Rovers. Dobson, not the best, straight down the throat of David Hodgson. Decent enough chase though, led by Newton and Fozzard, who got a bang in the head then.
Been in the wars, hasn't he? Fozzard tonight.
Got them for the grapple tackle around the neck of Cudjoe.
Well, I don't think that was all that bad. There was no seal. It did not appear as though he was just pulling the chin underneath.
Almost midpoint of this second half, and we await the first points of the second half. Raleigh will drive it forward here for Huddersfield. You get the feeling whoever scores the next try could just kick on and win this match. Mason.
And again, control of field position. And that's what they're doing.
Brown on the half volley. It's collected by David Hodgson. Tries to get away from Ben Cockayne. He goes Fatuira. Sean Lunt. And Brown, high kick. Little investigative kick into the corner. That ball has come free again.
Back to 6.
0 in the tackle count. Here come Huddersfield.
Well, Kevin Brown may not have taken the defensive line on as much as we often see, but his kicking game tonight, that little short one, the little grubber or the one over the top, is creating all sorts of trouble for the Rovers.
Mossop plays the ball to Sean Lunt. Sean Lunt to Robinson. Robinson then to Brown, and he loses it.
Put the mocker on him. And I think you can understand that the coach Nathan Brown was saying, why do we have to do all this fancy stuff when we've just gone through 3 sets where we kick it in, keep possession, it's just about controlling the game. He knows it. They're getting a little bit excited, are the Giants.
Not many coaches have full heads of hair, Terry, do they?
Brownie's on the way out, don't worry about that. I've got a few years on him as well.
Well, I ask so many of you why you do it, because it must be so frustrating on the sideline watching. You've plotted, you've done all your work, and then players drop the ball and miss tackles. It must kill you.
Well, it's the next best thing beside playing.
Well, I think this is. I think these two, Phil and Steve, will tell you that. Talking about it, talking nonsense.
You're not wrong. There's a lot of nonsense going on up here.
Thanks, Terry. We love you too. Just got a bit excited there. It's Keith Mason. It's been a battle royal whilst they've been on the field of play. You can see the rain has started to come down in bucketfuls now.
Well, now it's Rovers' turn to examine the line here. Walker hit the ball at pace. Mason and Raleigh bring him down. Fisher to Dobson. Dobson to Welland. He just managed to hang on to that under all sorts of pressure. Fisher, 10 metres away, will wait at dummy half. Here is Fozzard. Just puts the shoulder in. Lunt stood his ground. 3 tackles gone. Fisher. Here is Galea. Galea then to Stanley Jane. Nearly through.
Great tackle by Michael Lawrence there. He went low.
Galea to Dobson. Pops it up to Fozzard again. Raleigh and Mason. They get attracted to Fozzard like a magnet.
Got to be a kick from Dobson here.
Here is Dobson. No, they're running it through the gap. Tried to get the offload in. It was Morrell.
Well, I can understand doing something like that, keeping the ball alive and going for the power play if there was, say, only 10 minutes remaining, but there's plenty of time for them to get back into this game, the Rovers. Okay, they're 12 points adrift, but they needed to camp down there for a little bit longer than what they're doing. They're just allowing the Giants now to eat up the clock.
Wigan proving that the cup victory against Salford was no fluke. Let's get down to Bill quickly.
Another problem for Hull Kingston Rovers. Liam Colburn, we saw him coming off. It looks like a rib problem for the winger, and I don't think he's going to be returning for them, and they will miss him. Big defensive contribution always from Liam Colburn. But it's the Giants who've got the problems in terms of numbers, because Fayumu has now been ruled out for the rest of this game. He too, like Danny Kermond, is stripped and back into his civvies and will be sitting out the rest of this game. So they're 2 down on the bench.
Yes, and there's still a long way to go in this match.
Good work from Fisher there. He's tried hard since he came off the bench.
Gallia. Briscoe just dabs it down the line, an invitation for Wellham to chase. He gets to Aspinwall.
You'd have to say it's Hull KR's best period of the second half. They look like they've found some energy. I don't know where they found it from, because they've had to work so hard for the third quarter of the match. In the last few minutes, there seems to be a shift in momentum. The other side getting back on side quicker, putting Huddersfield under pressure, and it's the Giants doing it tough.
Not a single point in this second half. 18-6 as we were at half-time. Robinson just says, let's get out of here. It's not a bad kick, that, actually. It's hit the ground.
Great kick. As soon as he hits the ground, it gives him his players about 5 to 10 metres advantage. Now then, do not give away a penalty.
It was a bit of a laboured run as well from Scott Morrell. Briscoe went down, finished off by Paul Jackson.
Probably
Chev Walker.
Probably the only negative thing that we saw from the Huddersfield Giants in that first 40 minutes. And Nathan Brown, the coach, would have got onto him and said, look, don't get in good position and then give away silly penalties, getting offside, messing around with the play of the ball, and they can't afford to do it. They've got to control it.
Here comes Ben Gallia. Another good, solid night's work from Ben Gallia. Not in the second row tonight, playing at standoff. Dobson. Fly hacks the kick. Almost out on the full, but well, Huddersfield will bring it back to restart on the 20-metre line, but Rovers' defence will line up.
I often wonder whether the major kicker from a side has to jump into the dummy half position and then put the kick in. Rather, it'd be far better to stand out on the first receiver. Give yourself a little bit of room so you can analyse where you want to put the football. It's far too strong.
This is Sean Lund. He does well to get it ball away to David Hodgson. St Helens stretching the lead at Hull. Looks like they're going to stay top of the table tonight, no matter what happens here. And don't forget, we'll round up all the night's action for you in Super League Extra Time, which follows the live game here via the red button. We've got match reports from the 2 games that are taking place tonight, as well as this. Cudjoe. Not a bad kick from Cudjoe either.
Common sense. Nice to see it in youngsters as well. He knew exactly where he was going. Just put it in there and just eats away. The confidence, it just niggling. And the Rovers are finding it difficult to get any clean break.
They brought Scott Moore quickly back into the action, haven't they? Huddersfield didn't take a breather for long. Briscoe carries the ball bravely forward, Sean Briscoe. I'm sure everyone who's seen him interviewed notices his nose. It's almost at a 90-degree angle, isn't it? He's really taking some hits on that.
You would know, Eddie.
But mine doesn't look anything like that.
Well, it's a bit straighter.
That looked a bit forward.
Got away with it. Now this is where the Rovers are going to start thinking a little bit more. Maybe the chip over the top. Cudjoe is deep.
I think they've changed Clint Newton as well. They've asked him to burn the left. Most of the game he's been over where the ball's actually heading now and been unable to get his hands on the ball. But as you said, they've struggled to break through the Huddersfield line. They need a line breaker, and Newton might be the man.
Great defence from David Hodgson then. There was Dobson. Dobson's kick, though, on the bounce into the arms of Aspinwall.
Wasn't the best kick from Michael Dobson, and he knows it as well. If you're going to put it up into the corner, then get some height on it. Give your fellow players a chance to get underneath it. That was so easy.
Move! Hold! Go!
More for Huddersfield. Brown. And this is Lee Mossop once again.
It's amazing, isn't it, Eddie? Lee Mossop.
That's a penalty on Lee Mossop by Ben Cockayne.
Lee Mossop's to the club Wigan, who are currently 9th, can't get in, comes to a side who are 4th in the competition and gets picked. How do you work that out?
Well, you tell me, Phil. Well, it might be what Terry was talking about earlier. It could be the salary cap. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think on a loan player that would actually make a difference over the course of a month. I don't think that would be an explanation with the salary cap.
Well, they've brought a certain Martin Gleeson into the club, haven't they? So, you know, I would think that there'd be a few bob spent there. Robinson! Another ex-Wiganer, of course. Moore. Try for Fatuira. Delight for Nathan Brown. And probably the match for the Huddersfield Giants. New Zealand international Paul Fatuira, his 4th try of 2009. He got 4 tries in 3 meetings against Rovers last year, and Paul Fatuira maybe has given Huddersfield the key to victory here.
I think it's spot on, but again, the introduction and to bring into this play Scott Moore, he has created the try yet again. He's had a wow of a match. All came about with the grapple tackle there from Ben Cockayne, got them into position, but watch the crafty work from Scott Moore here. Dobson goes Robinson goes very close. What's more, bang, didn't even take a step. That's the big advantage that Scott Moore has on a lot of other hookers, is that he doesn't take a step before he offloads it. He picks it off the ground and it's bang. It's only a split second, but it was sufficient enough for Fatuira to get the 4. Can they turn it to 6?
No, he's missed with the kick. But the gap suddenly increases. It's 22 points to 6. Now then, you feel it might be Huddersfield's to lose rather than Rovers to win.
Well, I think at 18-6, and there was about 12 minutes to go, and the clock was the biggest enemy for Hull KR. I thought they've done really well. They just haven't been able to get a point on the board, and I think it'd be very hard to now to win the game. But you never know. Funnier things have happened, but here they go. They're probably going to get an opportunity now.
Yes, they are, because Kevin Brown took the kick-off on the full. It was a sensational kick-off, by the way. And then he lost his balance, and he tried, and then he flung it forward, and you can't do that anyway. So it's a goal line dropout.
He tried his damnedest, didn't he?
Oh.
I thought he was going to go into a double twist and a pike.
Goal line dropout anyway, and Rovers will come again.
They've got to test their arm now, Rovers. They've got to try something different, as I say. It's been difficult to get through this solid Giants defence. They've got to come up with maybe the chip over the top, even the grubber on the floor, but not to push it too far into the corner. If they're going to do that, get some height on it. Either way, they're getting extremely frustrated.
David Mills, not the best play the ball, and Richard Silverwood says, put your foot on it. That's a great run, though, there from Clint Newton. Dobson, short ball, Mills. Now then, did he heed what the referee said? And he shouted at him again, foot on it, he says. He does. Here's Galea, ball comes back to Briscoe, and it's carried on to Fisher.
That was good work by Briscoe. Flipped it up off the ground.
Last tackle, though, for Rovers here. Azu, Dobson, hoist the kick wide. Too deep and well claimed by Hodgson.
He's been solid, hasn't he, David Hodgson, tonight? A bit shaky last weekend, but and that's good work there by Luke Robinson. There's a man that has diffused everything that's been thrown at him tonight.
Aspinwall for Huddersfield.
Perhaps the thing that will please Nathan Brown more than anything has been the way that they've worked as a unit. They've shared the workload. 3 quarters have been taken up from deep, but they've just had the edge and power getting over the advantage line.
This is Jackson for Huddersfield. Nathan Brown, 12 wins from his first 17 in charge. Drop goal attempt. Oh, hits the post, comes back. Oh, it's gone backwards. Hull KR will have it.
Well, Wild thought that he was going to... I'll tell you what, some of the Rovers just stopped.
Excellent.
The ball is still in play there, and it looks as though Stephen Wild was going to get one of the easiest tries of all time. But that will not impress Justin Morgan. When Robinson went for the one-pointer, the visitors just stood around and watched it.
Interesting decision by Robinson to go for the one.
Sorry, Paul.
Just eat the clock up.
Would have been a little milestone for Robinson, of course. It would have been his first drop goal for Huddersfield. Meanwhile, Cudjoe.
Well, I've been calling for the chip over, but it was easily diffused. Nice footwork from Brown.
Big travelling support from Craven Park tonight. They'll be going home disappointed.
They've been beaten by a better side.
It's probably been Huddersfield, one of Huddersfield's best performances that we've seen from them on TV.
Yeah, you're right. It's been a good performance as a unit. They've worked hard, as we mentioned.
And how they'll do next week against Harlequins, you can find out with us, of course. Robinson.
Played the man. This should be head and feed. Oh, he's giving it the other way around.
He says that the Rovers player tried to charge the ball down, or certainly played the ball. Played at the ball, he says. Ben Cockayne.
Oh, I'm not so sure.
I think that's a bit unfair.
Yeah. Either way, the Giants won't shakes his head as Ben Cockayne. It's been a torrid night for him.
Well, Richard Silverwood's having a good night anyway, isn't he? He's enjoying himself. Been smiling all the way through this game.
Nice to see from referees as well.
Kevin Brown, Stephen Wild. Moore at dummy half. Short ball to Raleigh. They're starting to celebrate, the Giant supporters. They know there are two very important points coming their way as Mason gets the ball to Raleigh, but he couldn't take it in, and Dobson tidies up for Rovers. This is Briscoe. Scragged to the ground by Crabtree. Fisher. It's not been Rovers' night tonight, but they've been beaten by the better side. Huddersfield have been excellent.
Well, they played them off the park, mainly due to the fact that they have not allowed Elkington Rovers to get any momentum going. Very few clean breaks. And that'll be a knock-on. No, backwards, he says. They've been terrier-like, haven't they?
I think they'll also find that in the second half of the season things might be a bit tougher than the first. They'll get more respect from opponents now because of the way they played in the first 14 games, and they really they're going to bring the best out of the opponents. It'll make the Rovers' job harder, but it should also make them improve, really, which is what I'm sure Justin Morgan will want before they get to the playoffs.
That was an excellent kick, but it's a fantastic return from Cudjoe. Gallia was the man leading the chase to bring him down.
Well, there's been plenty of stars on Nathan Brown's side tonight.
He looks frozen to death, Nathan, doesn't he? Really does.
He'll be warm inside, though, because this is... I think you might agree with you, Eddie, that this has been their best performance perhaps all season.
Brown gives it a bit of width and finds Fatuira. He tries to go around Ben Cockayne. And Justin Morgan is a little bit more pensive than his opposite number. Two of the youngest, in fact the youngest in Super League, 33 and 35. But it's Nathan Brown's night.
Quick thinking by this fella, Scott Moore. Little wink to his teammates.
He's Cunningham. He's Cunningham in a different jersey, this fella. He really is.
Well, it's high praise. and I must say he has been outstanding tonight.
I think we're going to hear a lot about this young man, Scott Moore.
Keep going, lads. Minute and a half left. Heads in. Heads in, lads. Well done. Time back on. Out. Surrender!
Been an excellent display from Huddersfield tonight, Phil.
Yeah, it has. I mean, they've got up for it, particularly when everybody tells you when you're out of the ground that they're playing without the best player. Brett Hodgson, the fullback, is almost fullback, stand-up scrum half and hooker at times in the game. He's so heavily involved in so much of what they do. But I think as a team they've played very, very well indeed, and it's hard to single out one particular player. Again, you look at the things that they've just small improvements that they've made from last season. Defensive line speed, they're getting up and putting their opponents under pressure just 2 strides quicker than they've done in the past, and in fact they probably are one of the best in the competition at doing it. These small 1 and 2% improvements makes a huge difference on the final scoreboard.
Just wonder if 2009 will be the year that Huddersfield Giants awake. They've got a lovely blend of youth and experience, and we have seen them disappoint in front of our cameras so many times, but not tonight.
I think they've got a very balanced squad. When you look particularly at the forwards, the age, so many of them are in that 27, 28-year-old category. They've got the right experience, they've still got enough fitness and endeavour and enthusiasm to want to kick on and do something. We've got a very, very well balanced and constructed squad that's been built over a few years.
And just looking down the list, Paul Jackson's the oldest member of the squad. He's just 31. There's plenty of teen. Oh, hello, Fox has made a mess of that. The touch judge has the flag up. It's gone out, but it will be head and feed to Huddersfield. Well, a night of celebration, I'm sure they hoped for Fox and Briscoe, but instead it's the celebration for Huddersfield and their England contingent of Moore and Crabtree. Just the one try in the second half, scored by Paul Fatuira. 22 points to 6, the final score. And in the course of 2009, I just wonder how significant a night we've witnessed here for Huddersfield.
Well, we don't want to build them up too much, still a long, long way to go, but we have seen that they are capable of playing at a very high level, one high enough that they should feature in the final few weeks of this season when we are in the playoffs. Whether they can get to Old Trafford, I'm not sure yet on today's evidence, but still 3 months of improvements left in them.
Well, Hull Kingston Rovers' run of 5 successive victories comes to an end. This fellow was mighty impressive. Stephen Wild is with Bill.
Stephen, it was a real classic arm wrestle, that second half, wasn't it? It was nip and tuck for a long time.
Yeah, I don't think the conditions helped both sides tonight, but I think we played them a bit better and completed a bit better and kicked a bit better than I know. But full credit to all they stuck in there, and they gave us a tough game, and we short turnaround from us from another tough game last week, and we toughed it out tonight.
And that's the sort of game, they're second in the table. To beat the side just above you like that, it's another landmark for you. Yeah,
we're just taking each game as it comes, and there's a bit of a pattern emerging at the top now with top 4 or 5 teams, and we just want to stick with them, and Hull are one of the form teams at the moment, and to get a win against them is a great win for us.
And a home win as well, that's been a bit of a rarity.
Yeah, we've not played too well at home this year, and hopefully we can turn it around after this and carry on winning.
And you haven't turned it on for the Sky cameras as well, have you? So that makes a change.
Yeah, for a change. But, full credit to the boys, short turnaround and good win.
Thanks very much indeed. Let's bring the man of the match in, Scott Moore. Scott, congratulations. Not a bad week. You're into the semi-finals of the Cup. You get an England call-up, win this one, and you get a bottle of champagne as well. So a good week.
Yeah, it's been a marvellous week for me, me personally, and I'm really pleased for the boys. We turned up today and put in a really, really good display against a team that's running high. So all credit to the boys.
On a personal level, how big a step in the career is it for you to get that England call-up?
Oh, it's massive, like any young lad coming through, you just want to play for your country and represent the highest level, and fortunately I'll probably get a chance to do that, and I'm over the moon.
And how beneficial has it been coming here, working under Nathan Brown, playing for the Giants?
Oh, it's massive, he's did 10, 12 years in the NRL, and he's learned a lot. So coming here, for me personally, being a 9, it's been really good. He's helped me with a lot of the subtleties of the game, which I hadn't quite learned. I've come on leaps and bounds under him.
I have to tell you that in the commentary, Eddie is saying we're seeing the next Kieran Cunningham here. He's looking more and more like Kieran Cunningham every week. Is that something you're aiming at?
No, not at all. If I could be half the player as Kieran's ever been, then I'll be happy. You know, he's in my eyes, he's the best nine-ish player I've seen. So I'm just trying to do my best.
Well, you've done well tonight. You got the man of the match. You got the champagne. You also got £100 to give to a charity of your choice. Yeah. Where's that going to go?
I'll go to the Steve Prescott Foundation.
Good shout.
Cheers, mate.
Excellent, Scott Moore tonight, man of the match, and man of the match in a very, very tidy Huddersfield Giants victory by